Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by Shady Rays. Go to Shady Rays and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, ShadyRays.com. Use promo code SGPN for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast Tailor-Made Sell 2 Driver Giveaway. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver to enter today before the big drawing on April 8th. And we're also brought to you by Baseball Money is Fake, our fantasy baseball podcast. Join Blake and Ryan 3 times a week and get all the player breakdowns and statistical data you need to dominate. Welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Wednesday, April 5th, currently 5:08 on the East Coast. Here to break down the MLB schedule for the Thursday games. And I almost completely butchered the opening ads there, but joining me, I've got the young team with me tonight. Malcolm has the night off. First joining me, you guys know him as the voice on the college football and basketball experience and the college baseball experience, all things college. Noah Bieniek. Noah, what's going on, my man?
Thanks for the great intro, Munaf, and happy birthday, by the way.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
The machine.
And also joining us, you guys know him, of course, on the voice here on the MLB Gambling Podcast and the NFL Gambling Podcast. It's Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, boys? Good to be with you. And yeah, Munaf, as generous as he is, he's burying the lead. It's his birthday, so everyone wish him a happy birthday.
I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, it's 35 years around the sun. I appreciate all the text and all the
I was
all the
2
messages.
years off when we guessed it yesterday.
Yeah, I think I said
y'all said
32
33?
yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, appreciate you guys still think I look young and maybe feel young too still. But yeah, it's been another day in paradise, but the weather has just been so shitty here. I know Dylan, you and I were talking about it offline, but it's been raining on and off. It's gonna be like that throughout the night. But we had some day baseball today, man. I guess interesting. One game got postponed, which was the Reds and the Cubs in Cincinnati. I know they had some bad weather there, but a couple of games, or actually a lot of games already kind of hit the final. Rays, another day, another victory for them. They get the 7-2 victory. It was to Corbin, so you immediately took the team total overs for the Rays and also the run line for the Rays. They get the job done with Mark 2 Braves, another 2 victory. Rangers 5-2 victory. A lot of 5-2 victories today. Mets take a fall 7-6. But yeah, it's been great. No, I wanted to kind of dive right into it, my man. You put out a very interesting video with some good stats backing up kind of what we've seen the first 2 weeks, or at least the first week or so here in Major League Baseball with all the rule changes and stuff. I'm not going to take your thunder away, but why don't you kind of dig into what the video, whatever you want to that you post here. Give me the
Yeah, I mean, so first off, is it me or Munaf's connection, Dylan? Is Dylan going? Is he going Robo?
Yeah.
Okay. Munaf, do you want to try to reconnect while I play the video and then log back in, try to refresh your feed?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, we'll run it then.
Changes this year. Did the MLB overcorrect its issue of lack of offense? Are we seeing more home runs this year? Why are we seeing an average of 13.6 runs scored per game in Boston during April? We all know that the MLB deployed disguised pizza boxes as its new bases, which in turn entices teams to attempt stealing more bags. The MLB also removed the defensive shift, which is increasing league-wide batting average. But did Rob Manfred tamper with the baseball again without telling us? Are we seeing juiced baseballs again? How did Max Scherzer give up back-to-back-to-back home runs in the same game? On Tuesday, a tweet from Codified Baseball showing a graphic from Baseball Savant displaying the estimated drag of MLB baseballs showed that in some extreme cases, we are seeing this year's balls traveling 10 feet further than last year's balls used in April. This tweet has garnered over 62,000 views, and fans are now in a frenzy. I went and looked at the stats league-wide through the first 6 days of this year's season and compared them to last season. Here's what I found. Batting average is up 18 points from last year, on-base percentage is up 15 points, and slugging percentage is up 30 points. So does that translate into an increase of home runs? So far, it has not. In 2022, there was 152 home runs hit through the first 6 days, and only 154 home runs have been hit so far in 2023. Surprising to me, the average exit velocity is down compared to 2022, but stolen bases are up 52% and runs are up 13%. One turn through the starting rotation, Rob Manfred and the MLB are seeing the offensive increases they want without juicing the baseball. If this continues throughout the rest of the season, this could be the most successful thing to happen during Manfred's tenure as commissioner.
So, yeah, I mean, the big thing for me, why I went on such a big scuba dive, as SGPN has kind of coined the term lately, just diving in deep, is a lot of people were freaking out, and we've seen a ton of high scoring games so far this year. Personally, I think it's just been like this April. I know we're talking about shitty weather today, but overall, it's kind of been a little bit warmer and, less 30-degree games and more 70-degree games. It was 70 degrees in the Midwest. And in the Northeast, in Boston, they had a couple of sunny games. And usually in April, the Northeast is miserable, but they were putting up 13 runs a game in both of the opening series against the Orioles and Pirates. And all three teams, I don't know if they're really going to be as explosive offenses as they've shown us throughout the first 2 weeks. So I took it upon myself to kind of go looking back, and I think it really is just the weather, and stolen bases are up, averages are up. So as you're moving guys ahead to second base, the averages, you're getting more hits, you're knocking more runners in. So that's the conclusion of that research.
I think we've also seen, and you guys let me know if my connection's still kind of shocky because I'm still getting a Wi-Fi symbol here, but I think you nailed it when we talked about, and I think we talked about this in the preseason where we're doing the previews, that we're going to see a lot more action on the bases, right? Whether that's stolen bases or just more activity on the bases, which I think is leading to more runs being scored. And I know we've been talking about that in the Discord as well, right? Like stolen base prop markets and things like that. So I think that's something that Noah, I'm sure you're going to keep up with it as we kind of get more data and stats and you're under our belt. So I think that's something for us to definitely revisit. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like we've seen more balls that are being juiced, like we saw, what was it, prior to last season, where there was just an exponential amount of runs and home runs being hit. Dylan, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the video or just general offense being up.
Yeah, I heard it on Twitter. A lot of people are saying there's more runs than normal, but diving deep like what Noah did, it's very interesting to see where it's not very many more home runs than you would expect. I know Scherzer gave up 3 home runs back to back to back, but it's kind of similar to last year where it's kind of identical, the numbers. So, and exit velocity too. That was a very interesting point as well in the video. So love Noah diving into it, and I appreciate the analytics, but yeah, it's very interesting because everyone on Twitter and everything that I read, everyone's saying the balls are juiced again, this, that, and the third. But if you actually really look at it, there's not too much difference from last year to this year, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and a note that I took out of the video, because the video just got too long at one point. It's just a very small, very, very small sample size. We're only one time through the order, and some aces have pitched twice, but 6 days through the season, it's just interesting enough because we've seen now every starting pitcher, unless there's one starter with an injury in various cases, but everybody's gotten able to pitch once in what is usually the worst month for weather, and offense is up, but home runs are not. So it's actually exactly what the MLB wanted, and the game times are a half hour shorter too. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, so something I will keep up with as far as what Noah digged up and just really deep analytics. I know a lot of our listeners and fans appreciate it, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. So definitely check it out on Noah's on his Twitter account.
If you want
Um,
that, the
yeah,
Fantasy Baseball Podcast is for you guys. Baseball money is fake.
yep. All right, guys. Before we get into the 8-game schedule for Thursday, let me tell everyone about Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive wear that we've ever worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays is offering the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one when you get them, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of 2 or more pair of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. Shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. All right, guys, get into the schedule for Thursday. Shorter than usual. We only have 8 games on the schedule, 2 of which have already been postponed. So the 2 games that are postponed are the Yankees and the Orioles, and the Astros and the Minnesota Twins. So we'll kick it off. I mean, another day of day baseball on Thursday. First game on the board, 1:10 Eastern start between the Boston Red Sox headed to Detroit to take on the Tigers. I am currently seeing lines right now. Starting pitchers, I should say. Chris Sale is on the mound for the Red Sox, and Spencer Turnbull is on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. Minus 155 in favor of the Boston Red Sox, plus 135 for the Detroit Tigers at home as an underdog. Over-under set at 8. Noah, I will let you lead this one off with your Tigers, my man.
All right, so this is the home opener for us. And we're coming off a series win against the world champion Astros, Munaf. So Detroit Tigers in their home openers, it's been quite magical lately, to say the least. We had 2 years ago, Miguel Cabrera hit a home run in the snow. They won that game 3-2 against the Cleveland Guardians. And then just last year, Javier Baez walked off the Chicago White Sox with a home run. So the Tigers overall in the last 14 years are 12-2 in their home openers, even though they've been shit for probably 6 or 7 of the last of them. So something magical, I would say. It's not making sense in my opinion, but we have Miguel Cabrera batting .291 with 4 home runs and 55 at bats against Chris Sale. But that's pretty much it in the pitcher versus batter stats. These two pitchers have not really faced each other's rosters. And for Sale's case, it's mainly just the lack of experience from the Tigers lineup. We've been taking these Red Sox overs lately, and it makes sense since they have the 6th best team OPS in the league with an 836. And now I thought both Chris Sale and Spencer Turnbull would have good years coming off of injury. They both got blasted in their first start. I wouldn't blame you if you took the over here, but I'm just going to go ahead and take my Tigers plus 135 at Caesars on the money line on opening day.
Dylan, what do you got for this game?
Yeah, tough one to handicap. The Red Sox, they just got swept by the Pirates at home. Now they have to travel to Detroit. Didn't know Detroit was so successful on their home openers. And yeah, they're just coming off a series where they took 2 or 3 from the Astros. I agree with Noah. It might be worth taking a shot with the Tigers. Continue to fade the Red Sox. Even take them first 5+ a half. I think that's a good way to play it as well. I don't know about the over just because we saw the Red Sox bats not come to life these past 2 games. So I don't know about the over, but I do like the Tigers here at home.
Yeah, I think it's team right here. I think there's a lot of value here on the Tigers. I mean, Noah mentioned it. Chris Hill just didn't look very good in his first start for the Red Sox. And Trevor also pointing out he's not going to be his old self like he was prior or the year the Red Sox won the title back in 2019. I mean, after all the injuries that he's kind of dealt with, it just hasn't been very good for Chris Hill and at least Chris Hill on the mound. Depending on the weather, I'd probably lean towards the over in this game. Like Noah mentioned, the offense was able to break out against the Astros, and we know Astros traditionally over the past couple of years have had one of the better pitching rotations, and they were able to score some runs and even win some ball games against them. So I think Red Sox can find their offense here as in Detroit as well, going up against Spencer Turnbull there. But I do like the Tigers. I think we do see some value here at plus 135.
I will say my area, just like the rest of the country, really is getting pelted by rain right now.
Yeah.
Last night, my basement flooded at about 10:30 at night. I posted that on Twitter as well. That was not very fun cleaning it up. But
We also have 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing in Detroit.
Okay, there we go. All right. All right, let's go over to the next game of the night. We have the Miami Marlins. They are headed to New York to take on Dylan's Mets. I'm currently seeing Edward Cabrera is going to be on the mound for the Marlins, and Tyler Miguel gets a start for the New York Mets. Currently seeing lines of plus 135 for the Miami Marlins, minus 155 for the New York Mets. Total is also set at 8 in this game. Dylan, take us away, my man.
Yeah, I'll be at the game, so I got to have some action on it. You can't go to a game and not have action on it. So don't really want to back the Mets right now. They just got swept by the Brewers. They're not playing good baseball. Their bats finally came to life a little bit with Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor hitting some RBIs today. But I do like the over 7.5 at minus 120. I set my total at 7.8. I did make the Mets a favorite at minus 150. So maybe some value here with the fish as well. The Mets did win the game last week where Cabrera pitched. He gave up only 2 runs on 2 hits in 4 innings. He did walk 6 batters, so maybe look towards a Cabrera walk prop or an under his strikeout prop. But I feel like if Cabrera keeps walking batters like he did last time, I think we have a good shot here to get on to the over. Should be a nice day in Queens. 2 of the 4 games in the first series between these two clubs did go over the number as well. So I lean fish and I like the over.
Yeah, he actually started Edward Cabrera this season already against the Mets, right? 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 6 walks in that game. So yeah, I think Dylan's correct. Maybe look at a walks prop for Edward Cabrera. I do agree about the over as well, over 7.5. Definitely shop around. I think there's still some 7.5s out there. Do see some 8s already out there, so it's on the move. But I agree about the over in this game. Noah, anything for this game between the Marlins and the Mets?
I would probably lean Mets too. They've got a batting average of 245 against Cabrera. He's relatively new to them, but they've seen him pretty well. And Pete Alonso has 3 home runs against him. He had 2 tonight or 2 today. So he's feeling really good, and I like that PVB. So Alonso props might not be a bad idea, but yeah, I'd probably land on the Mets here myself. So yeah.
All right. Before we continue the conversation here for the rest of the games in Major League Baseball, let me tell everyone about Sword Vitality. Self-care is cool. Self-care is manly. Be proud of taking care of yourself. 40% of men are affected by impotence at the age of 40, and nearly 70% of men are affected by the age of 70. Stop buying those highly suspect pills in the gas stations. No more hiding that little blue pill in your sock drawer. You manscape, but also take care of the plumbing. Sword Vitality helps increase your blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man. It's time to become a Sword Vitality man if you aren't experiencing erections in the morning. Talking about Sword Vitality should be as comfortable as anything else men talk about to their partners. You like to hike, you love watching football, and you also use Sword Vitality. They have 3 main benefits to help out men. Increase blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man in the bedroom. Sword Vitality can help increase your stamina, and you don't have to hide it. You can be proud of it. Unsheath your sword. Visit swordvitality.com and use promo code SGPN for a very nice discount at checkout. That's swordvitality.com using promo code SGPN. The Masters officially start on Thursday, and we are brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast and their tailor-made driver contest. The contest is completely free to enter, and you have a chance to win an awesome tailor-made driver. The drawing will take place on Sunday, April 8th, so make sure you get in by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver.
I think it's important to mention that we touch on Jazz Chisholm getting
go ahead.
knocked up in the Mets game or in the Marlins game today. He slid in the second head first. I think he hit like his upper collarbone, maybe even a head on the other player's shin. So we'll see if he's playing or not. But another reason why you could like the Mets in that game too.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of hype around Jazz Chisholm before the season, but hopefully it's nothing too serious for the Marlins and himself. Hopefully he can get back on the field sooner rather than later. All right, guys, let's get over to the next game of the night. Let's go over to the game between, or I should say afternoon, between the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago White Sox. This is going to be a 2:10 Eastern start. Looking at the projected pictures in this game, I am currently seeing it will be Alex Wood, left-handed pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, and Lance Lynn gets a start for the Chicago White Sox. Plus 115 on the money line for the visiting team, the Giants here, and a minus 135 home favorite for the Chicago White Sox. Another total of 8 in this game. I'll leave this one off. Alex Wood, left-handed pitcher. This is going to be his first start of the season for the San Francisco Giants. Last season, he was 8-12 with a 5.10 ERA. On the road last season, 5-7 with an ERA of 5.51. So he was a little bit worse on the road than he was in San Francisco. He did face the AL Central actually 4 times last season. He was 2-2 in this game with a 5.95 ERA. Lance Lynn had a great start against the defending champs, the Houston Astros, where he did go 5 2/3 innings in that game. Did allow 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks in that game to the Houston Astros. Last season, he was 4-3 at home with a 4.05 ERA, 6-3 with a 3.84 ERA during the day. I think that's something good to point out about Lance Lynn. He did face the Giants last season. Let's see here, 6 innings, didn't allow hits in that game, 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. I've loved Lance Lynn early. We've talked a lot about over the past several seasons. You guys know this as well, right? Like White Sox against left-handed pitching. And I think this is an opportunity for the White Sox to do what they did today. I know they put up 7 runs in that game against the Giants. I like what I've seen from Lance Lynn. I thought this number would be bigger for Lance Lynn and the White Sox at minus 135, but I do like the money line here for the White Sox. I also would probably look at a White Sox team total in this game. Dylan, you got anything for this game between the Giants and the White Sox?
Yeah, I like the White Sox here as well. I agree 100% about the line. It kind of seems a little mystery just because I made him a minus 170 favorite. I got him at minus 125. Still, I see minus 130s out there. Alex Wood is just not a guy you want to back on the road. 5.51 ERA on the road last season. And I didn't think Lance Lynn pitched that bad either in his first start. So we know how the White Sox hit lefties, like you mentioned. I think their bats came alive today with Dylan Cease on the mound. So I'll take a shot here with the South side. I like the White Sox, here as well.
Noah, what do you got?
We'll make it a team ride. I love the White Sox too. And since I'm remembering, let's make it the first trumpets of the season too.
There we go.
So yeah,
he's shaking his head. Sorry, Dylan.
No, every time I hear this song now, it's just like knives in my back.
PTSD.
I love
Poor
it.
Guy.
So you guys already mentioned it. It's the White Sox against the lefty, and also this Giants lineup only has a 154 team batting average collectively against Lance Lynn in Lynn's career. He had a great start against the Giants last year in 2022. He went 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, and he had 5 strikeouts in that. So I'm all over the White Sox tomorrow.
Yep, love it. All right, let's get over to the next game of the afternoon. It is going to be let me go to Thursday. Same time, 2:10 Eastern start. It's going to be the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. Starting pitchers probable for this game is Kevin Gausman for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Jordan Lyles gets the start for the Kansas City Royals. Minus 180 road favorites here for Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays, plus 155 on the money line for the Kansas City Royals. Total is currently sitting at 8.5 with a little bit of vig on the over at minus 120. Noah, lead us off with this game.
Each of these active rosters have faced the starters plenty before. The Royals only have a 190 batting average collectively against Kevin Gausman, whereas the Blue Jays, they have a team batting average of 284 against Jordan Lyles. Kansas City also has a 5.03 bullpen ERA so far this year, good for 22nd in the MLB. My pick here is Toronto minus 1.5 on PointsBet. It's minus 105. And keep an eye out for Kevin Gausman's strikeout props, as Kansas City has a 25% strikeout rate to start the season. That's the 9th most in the MLB. And Gausman also has a career K percentage of 34% against these Royals. Also, Matt Chapman, he's hitting .429 with 5 home runs and 21 at-bats against Jordan Lyles. Brandon Belt, 6 for 18. He's batting .333 versus Lyles. And Vladdy Jr., 3 for 9 with a home run.
Love it. Dylan?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the under here. I got a 9. I still like under 8.5. I set my total at 8.2. Gausman, he was good in his first start. 6 innings, only giving up 3 runs, struck out 7. I do like the strikeout prop. What's the most you would go up to, Noah, real quick?
I'd probably go 6.5.
All right.
Like anything below 6.5, I'd take.
Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on that as well. I do like that. Lyles had a good outing as well. 5 1/3 innings, his first time out. 1 run given up on 5 hits. The unders 3-2 in the Royals' first 5 games. I even like the first 5 under. I see 5s out there, a little chalky at minus 150, but I think we see a pitcher's duel in this one, at least in the first half. So I like the first half under, and I also like the full game under.
Yeah, Lyles last season against the Blue Jays actually had 3 starts against them. He went 2-1 with a 5.63 ERA, 13 strikeouts in those 3 appearances. But what kind of stuck out to me in those 3 starts that he had last season against the Blue Jays, he allowed 5 total home runs. In every single one of those games, he gave up a home run to Matt Chapman. And had a home yet for Blue Jays. So if he doesn't on, say, he might be an opportunity where he gets high odds against that he had some great success against last season, Matt Chapman. So the ways that I was looking at this was either first 5 team total over for the Blue Jays or full game team total over for the Blue Jays, again, depending on weather. But also will bet home run prop for tomorrow against Jordan Lyles. Anything else for this game, guys? Nope. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the board, we've got the Cincinnati Reds. 3:05 Eastern start. Looking at the lines for this game, I'm seeing I don't have lines for this game. Do you guys have lines for this game? Don't you see anything for the Reds tomorrow?
Yeah, I see lines. Phillies minus 190, plus 165 for the Reds. Over under is at 7.5.
All right, take us away.
Run line's plus 105 for the Phillies too.
Yeah, and then minus 130 for plus 1.5 for the Reds. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, it's a wait and see for me to take the Reds at a home puppy. I only made the Phillies a minus 180 favorite, so need about 5 to 10 cents right here, but I kind of like taking the home dog right or the road dog right now. I don't feel comfortable backing the Phillies right now. I know they won on Tuesday, but they lost again today. Until they turn things around, I can't back them. Whereas the Reds, they've been playing some competitive baseball. Like they led up the whole game yesterday until the 7th, which it was just a debacle. But I like Nick Lodolo as well and the way he pitched in his first start. Maybe look towards the Lodolo K prop. He did fan 9 Pirates in his first start. Got a lot of swing and miss guys on the Phillies. And like I said, I just got to see the Phillies put it together a few wins in a row before I back them, especially at a minus 180, minus 190 price. I'm strictly playing the number here, so I'll take the Reds here on the money line.
Noah?
Yeah, basically retweeting what Dylan said about Hunter Green. I would be looking into his strikeout percentage or strikeout props because you have Schwarber and Marsh, Stott, and Castellanos, and maybe Stubbs. I don't know if he's going to start this game. All those guys have strikeout percentages over 30% so far this season. Like Dylan said, there's a lot of swing and miss in this team. However, I might go the other way. I think that the Phillies are due for some positive regression. And Green just he doesn't really miss many bats as of right now. So I know I kind of just contradicted myself with the strikeouts. I mean, the Phillies swing and miss a lot. It's a really tough game to handicap for me personally. I think the Phillies would probably win. Best look is Green's strikeouts. Nothing over 5.5. But
real quick, I apologize, Noah. I when I handicapped the game, it was Nick Lodolo, so my bad. It is Hunter. I still like Hunter Green strikeout props as well.
Yeah, it's just the Phillies lineup. Where are they at right now? They are. My page is not loading.
What are you looking for? Strikeouts?
Yeah, they're the Phillies. 10th in the MLB right now, 25%. So they're a nice team to fade or look to take a pitcher with strikeouts currently in the MLB. So. Are we getting Robo Munaf again? Dylan?
Yeah.
Oh,
can you guys hear me?
You cut out for a
guys
good
hear me?
5 seconds. You can start now, though. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm back. Yeah, the lights keep flickering over here as well. So if I kind of go out, you guys are on your own. I didn't have much for this Reds and Phillies game either. So again, like Dylan mentioned, we don't know if it's Hunter Green or if it's Nick Lodolo, but I'm now seeing Hunter Green's going to get the start here. So I don't think you can get away from either like Hunter Green strikeouts or his walks. Like it's either or with this guy. Like he's either in control or he's going to like have like 3 walks in the game. But yeah, I'll dig into that more. All right, 3 games left here, guys. Let's get over to the next game of the night. I have the Washington Nationals. They are headed to Colorado. I think it's their opening game as well, because I know they've been on the West Coast. This is going to be a 4:10 Eastern start between the Nationals and the Rockies. I am currently seeing starting pitchers of JoJo Gray. Josiah Gray is going to be on the mound for the Nationals, and Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. Look at the lines for this game. -135 home favorites for the Colorado Rockies, +115 for the Washington Nationals. Total is set at 10.5. A little bit of vig on the over at -115. Run line -1.5, +135 for the Rockies, +1.5, -155 for the Washington Nationals. Noah, take us away on this one.
So, like you mentioned, this is the Rockies' home opener. They're 2-5 in their last 7 home openers. Kyle Freeland is on the mound, and he's notorious for not pitching as well at home. As we know, when you pitch at Coors, you can lose up to 3 inches of vertical movement depth in high altitude on your pitches. Josiah Gray's number 1 pitch.
Sword vitality.
Yeah. Josiah Gray's number 1 pitch from his first start this season was the curveball. He threw 27 of them, and it was good for 31%. It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts his pitch repertoire here going to Colorado. After all, he gave up 5 earned in 5 innings in his first start, so maybe there are some adjustments to be made in general. In his career, Gray has made 1 start at Coors Field, pitching 5.1, giving up 3 earned. He had 3 walks and 4 strikeouts in that game. I'm going to lean to the Nationals plus 115 on the money line. You can find that at DraftKings and over 10.5. That's a wild number, so I'll stay away. But that's just kind of where some of my handicap pointed me to today.
Yeah, he had one start last season, did Kyle Freeland against the Nationals, but this was in Washington where he didn't turn out to have a good outing, I should say. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks in that game. He's had back-to-back starts against the Nationals where he's had back-to-back games of 4 walks. So I think you got to take the value here on the Nationals as well. I don't trust Kyle Freeland at home. I think last season he had an ERA of 6, if I'm not mistaken, at home at Coors Field. So I will go with the road puppy here as well. Dylan, what do you got for this game?
I'm going to be on the Lone Island. I'm going to take the Rockies here on the money line. I think it's a good price as well. I made him a minus 155 favorite, and I thought Freeland was good in his first start against a very good lineup in the Padres. He didn't allow a run in 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, and I think he'll have success against a bad Nationals team. You know, they only scored, 2 runs today? They scored 6 yesterday, but usually when they lose by 2 or more runs. So minus 1.5 at plus 140, I think is worth a sprinkle as well. I like the over 10.5. We got 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to right field. I set my total at 11.3. So I'm on the Rockies. I'll take them at home. We know how good they are at home when they play there. So I'm going to take the Rockies here, and I also do like the over.
For what it's worth, I kind of just breezed by it. Freeland is a sinker baller, so that's his number one pitch. He threw it 27% of the time. No, he threw 27 pitches 36.5% of the time during his first start. He pitched great, but notoriously just not as good at home. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the 2 nightcap games. It is going to be, the first one is going to be a 7:20 Eastern start. San Diego Padres, they are headed to Atlanta to take on the Braves. Currently seeing Blake Snell is going to get the start for the San Diego Padres, and Spencer Strider, Malcolm's boy, is going to get the start for the Atlanta Braves. Looking at the opening lines for this game, currently seeing the Braves as a minus 165 home favorite, plus 140 on the money line for the road team, the San Diego Padres. Total is set at 7.5 with a little bit of big towards the under at minus 115. Run line minus 1.5 plus 130 for the Atlanta Braves, and plus 1.5 minus 150 for the San Diego Padres. Dylan, lead us off with this game, Braves and Padres.
Yeah, I'm going to fade Blake Snell here in the first 5 innings. I'll take the Braves first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 110. I don't want to lay the full game price, so going with the Braves here to have the lead going into the 6th inning. Blake Snell looked bad in his first start against the Rockies, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits, and he only lasted 4 innings. Now, the Braves, I think they have a much better hitting club than the Rockies. I think they'll be able to get to Snell very early in this game. And as for Strider, he was fantastic. I know it was against the Nationals, but he went 6 scoreless innings, just gave up 3 hits. I think this is a great spot to back the Braves with the better pitcher, with the better lineup in the first 5 innings. I think they'll have the lead by more than 1 run. So I'm going to take Braves first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 110.
I've got nothing more to add, really. I'll just go with what Dylan said. Braves might be a good look here. I think I'm a little bit higher on Snell than he is, but I would take Strider over Snell.
Yeah, I would too. I know the offense has really been clicking for the Braves. And I'm trying to see, I don't know why this website doesn't have this up right now, but
what are you looking for? They have an 825. They have an 825 OPS, which is 7th in the MLB, and their WRC plus is 121.
And that's against left-handed pitching.
Oh, I don't have it sorted.
That's fine. No, I was just curious. No, it's okay. Yeah, I got to go with Strider here as well. Like Dylan mentioned, he had a really good first start for the Atlanta Braves. Blake Snell, I don't fully trust him, man. He just hasn't been the same guy that he was with the Rays. I don't know what's changed there, but it's just a guy that I can't trust right now. hopefully he's able to turn it around for the sake if you're a Padres fan in that pitching rotation. But at least for the Braves, I mean, I think all of us were really high on this team coming in, and we've seen that through their first couple or the first two series so far. And they look good against the Cardinals. I believe they swept them, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, they did.
yeah, so now they get to come back home and face another opponent that's supposed to be a challenger, I guess we can say, in the National League. So this is going to be a fun series to watch all weekend for sure. I'm going to be tuned into this one for sure. But as far as this game, yeah, I'll go with the Braves, and I probably look at a Braves team total to go over in this game as well.
Atlanta's WRC plus is 122, so it's
Mhm.
pretty even against lefty and righty.
Yeah.
122 for lefty, I mean, and that's 8th in the MLB.
Yep, love it. All right, last game of the Thursday schedule. It is going to be the late night game between the LA Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, a 10-10 Eastern start for this game. Currently seeing the projected starting pitchers of Dustin May for the Dodgers, and then Merrill Kelly is going to get the start for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Looking at the opening lines for this game, I'm currently seeing the Dodgers as a minus 150 road favorite, plus 130 on the money line for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Total is at 8.5 with a little bit of vig, on the over, and the run line minus 1.5 plus 105 for the Dodgers, and plus 1.5 minus 125 for Merrill Kelly and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dustin May, first start, was a great one. And it was against this Diamondbacks team. He threw 7 innings, 3 hits only allowed, 0 earned runs, did have 4 strikeouts and 1 walk in that game against the Diamondbacks. In his career on the road, he has a 6-7 record with a 3.00 ERA. Merrill Kelly in 2022, 13-8, 3.37 ERA. At home last year, 5-5 with a 3.02 ERA. I think the one thing that really stuck out to me is that he just does not have a good record against the Dodgers. So Kelly in his career against the Dodgers, he's 0-9 with a 5.64 ERA. Last week in his first start against the Dodgers, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, did give up 4 walks in that game. D-backs did win that game with Kelly starting, but at Chase Field in Arizona against the Dodgers in his career, 0-5 with a 5.01 ERA. And I'll just mention this quickly. Within those first 5 innings against the Dodgers in Chase Field, like I mentioned, the Dodgers have been up 3-0, 8-3. Sorry, they've scored at least 3 runs within those first 5 innings in those 5 starts in his career against Merrill Kelly. And they've won all those games by 2 or more runs in 4 out of those 5 games. So pretty simple for me here. I'm going to continue fading Merrill Kelly against the Dodgers. Give me the run line minus 1.5 plus 105 and first 5 innings team total over. Hopefully it's 2.5 for the Dodgers. Maybe a little bit juice there, but I do like that number as well. Noah, anything for this game between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers?
So even though he struggled, he didn't really get hit hard, Merrill Kelly, against the Dodgers last week. Didn't give up any runs. He just didn't go very deep into the game. Max Muncy in his career is hitting 429 off Kelly. Will Smith, 304. He hit a home run. It was yesterday, so technically it's going to be 2 days ago for those listening on Thursday. But, yeah, I've just leaned Dodgers here. I'm a big fan of Dustin May. I think he dominated the D-backs. It's hard to think that he won't do it again just 1 week later. So I think the D-backs will pick up on a few things after seeing him the first time out, but I really believe in May, and his stuff looked disgusting last week. So going back to the Dodgers here.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'm going under in this game. I got a 9. I still like 8.5. I set my total at 8, solid. So I like both pitchers, to be honest. I think they're both 2 solid pitchers. They faced each other last week. Game ended 2-1. Snakes did get the win on the road. Both pitchers didn't give up a run. Only 6 hits were given up combined by both pitchers. So I think Kelly is a better pitcher at home. I think we see a similar type of game, maybe 2-1, 3-1, but maybe first 5 under as well. But I think we see a similar type game. So I like the under 8.5 in this one.
All right. So that was the last game of the night. Again, a shorter schedule here on Thursdays with only 8 games. 2 games already got postponed, like we mentioned at the top of the show. So let's close it out strong here, guys. Let's get into our lock and dog for the night. Noah, why don't you lead us off with your lock and dog?
All right. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers as my dog. Boston's not really playing like a big favorite right now, and we're getting plus 135 with Detroit. Currently, they're 12-2 in the last 14 home openers at Comerica Park. And in general, I like Spencer Turnbull. I really think that he's going to have a good year this year, and it starts. I mean, the first start was not great, but I think he starts to turn it around right here. And Chris Sale was in the same boat as Turnbull. They both got rocked in their first start of the year. So I like the value with the Tigers that I'm seeing there. And I've got 2 plays for a lock, and I feel like I might take Munaf's here. I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox. They're going up against a lefty. They got Lance Lynn on the mound. He's got the Giants have a 154 batting average against Lynn collectively. So I really think that, that's a good play, or a first 5 if you want to just make sure it's the starters. But White Sox have a very good bullpen. So I'll just take the full game. Money line minus 130.
All right. D-Rock, what do you got, Mo?
Yeah, I did like the White Sox as a lock as well, but I'll change it up. Let's go with now I'm scrambling. Let's go. No, you're good. You're good. I'll take the Braves first 5 minus a half. Let's just continue to fade Blake Snell. He just hasn't looked the same, and I think this Braves lineup is raking right now. So at home, I like the price at minus 110, first 5 minus a half. And for my dog, I was going to take the Tigers as well. Let's continue to where was it? Let's continue to fade the Nationals. I'll take the Rockies on the run line at home. I think Kyle Freeland, he pitched well. I'm not a believer in Josiah Gray. I'm sorry. So I think he gets smoked tomorrow, and Rockies win their home opener. So I'll take them on the run line plus 140. Nice plus price.
All right. All right. So for my dog, I'm gonna take man.
I know it was hard.
No, I do like the White Sox. You know what I'm gonna do? Give me the White Sox run line tomorrow, minus 1.5 at plus
Good play.
160. That's a lot of value there at plus 160, especially, we talked about the White Sox having a lot of success against left-handed pitching and the struggles that Alex Wood does have. I think that momentum that they have, all the runs that they got today, or they put up, I think that momentum should carry into tonight, for Thursday night,
also
against the Giants.
To help you out, through the first 6 days, the Giants have the 4th worst bullpen with a 6.08 ERA. So
yeah, I think we saw that today too, right? Like they were up 3-1.
Yeah,
and then they gave up 4 more runs after the starter got pulled. So yeah,
I'm
gonna go.
See it.
Yeah, White Sox minus 1.5 plus 160 as my dog. For my lock, I was looking for a Jays team total over, but I don't see that.
Take your Chapman props, people.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna mention that as well. So definitely, at least in the Blue Jays game, make sure to get on Matt Chapman's home run tomorrow.
I have team totals for the Blue Jays if you want.
Yeah, what do you got?
So at points bets, it's 4.5 minus 145, and at Caesars, it's over 5.
Okay. I think weather is going to be a factor. You know what? I do like the over in that Nationals and Rockies game tomorrow. I'll take the over 10.5 as my lock there. I don't trust Freeland at home. We talked about for the Rockies pitchers. I mean, we've talked about it, how they just don't do very well at home. And Noah also laid out the stats there that whether you're a sinker ball pitcher or whether it's a slider, whatever the case might be, it's affected in the air there in Coors Field when you're playing in altitude. So I think runs will be put up in this game. We've seen the Rockies offense flash against the Dodgers pitching and the Padres pitching over their first 2 series on the West Coast. So I don't trust JoJo Gray. I'm going to be looking at a walk prop for him as well. So for my lock, over 10.5 right now between the Rockies and the Nationals.
Nationals bullpen 498 ERA, 21st in the MLB. Rockies, 28th in the MLB with a 641. I like it as well.
Yuck. All right. Yeah, love it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast. Dylan, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here, my man?
No, just hopefully I don't see another 10-0 game tomorrow when I go to the game, but should be a good one. Munaf, enjoy your birthday, and everyone flood his comments.
No, anything else?
No, I don't have anything to add. Tomorrow I'll be on the college baseball show, so it'll be Munaf and Malcolm, the dynamic duo back again.
Hopefully he's not drunk.
Oh God. Yeah, I have no comments until that's just gonna be derailed tomorrow between me and Malcolm. Yeah, all right. So yeah, appreciate all the love from you guys and all of our listeners with the birthday wishes. Truly means a lot.
Happy Masters opening day too.
Yes. All right, I need some picks from you guys. We have some time here. Noah, who are you going with?
Yesterday I went with Spieth when Malcolm asked me. So
yeah,
I'm gonna stick with Spieth. He does well at Augusta, and I hear that he's the Easter Bunny. Cameron Kerr told me that he's got a couple of wins on Easter. It's gonna be Easter this Sunday. So Jordan Spieth to win it. And did I write down anybody else that I liked? Maybe some Cantley DFS.
Not a bad one. I like Cantley this weekend too. Now, so I was watching live yesterday, and Dylan gave a stupid answer for who's going to win on Sunday for the Masters. He gave a stupid answer. Dylan, I'm going to let you redeem yourself, I should say, on who's going to win the Masters.
Well, I did put a ticket in for Tiger, obviously. I did put a ticket in for Patrick Cantley at plus 14 to 1. I put Victor Hovland at 33 to 1 as well. I also did a little top 10 finishes as well. Patrick Cantley top 10 at plus 150. Victor Hovland top 10 plus 300. Gary Woodland top 10 plus 1200 as well. So I also like John Rahm a little bit as well, but I'm biased. I like John Rahm.
He's got his full card already. I haven't placed one bet yet.
Yeah, I haven't placed any bets yet. I was going to finalize my card tonight to put it out. But this is a good reminder, guys. If you are someone that does play golf or just wants a free driver, man, go ahead and enter the contest with the Golf Gambling Podcast, guys. They're giving away the brand new tailor-made Driver Cell 2. I don't know what the hell that means. I did ask Cameron and Capper. They said it's a really nice driver.
It's a sick-ass driver.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick driver from what they're telling
me.
Basically,
to sum it up for you, to dumb it up, it's got a carbon fiber face on the driver head, and basically you can mishit it by like an inch to 2 inches on the driver head, and it's not going to negate any distance from your swing.
How much is that if I were to go and buy it?
I think
it's like 500.
I think regular sale value of most drivers. I just bought one 2 years ago. It was the last model before TaylorMade went to the Stealth series. I got the Sim 2. It was $550. So I expect that the Stealth's probably $550 or higher. It's a great driver.
Yeah. So I guess the Golf Gambling Podcast has money to give away. But yeah, it's free to enter. You have till Sunday. So make sure to go to golfgamblingpodcast.com/driver. Again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. And like the guys mentioned, Malcolm and I will be back tomorrow for the Friday game. So look out for us then. Make sure to follow Dylan on Twitter at RockWith2Ks24. Follow Noah on Twitter at 77. That's the word 70, the number 7, and his initials NB. But more importantly, guys, before you get out of here, hit the smash the like button. And if you haven't already, leave us a rating and review, which does remind me, someone left us a 4-star review.
Oh, no.
Not very happy about that.
He didn't
Not
like
very
the
happy
accent.
about that.
Yeah.
He said, I have to get used to the guy that has the accent, but overall, these guys know their stuff. Malcolm is just bringing this pod down. I don't know if he's going to be back next year. That's a conversation we'll have to have. Well, he's not even. I don't think the guy's actually. I haven't mentioned the guy's name. Who was this? Doggy Woggy 85. I mean that was a Doggy Woggy 85. So if you're listening, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Sorry for the accent. I wish it was a 5-star review, but here we are. So yeah, that just reminds you, if you haven't already left us a rating and review, please do so. We are starting to climb the charts a little bit. So every rating and review does help us, whether that's on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. All right, guys, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.